welcome back to Gino's Garage. We are here working on what we're going to call Project BillyRB, I guess. This is a 1985 Bluebird Wanderlodge PT. I think it's a PT40. It's pretty blue. So we've got a list of things we're going to be doing to this bus, and I'll share that with you. It's nice. I love the blue. It's one of my favorite colors. So here we go. So here's the list of items that we're going to be working on. We'll start over here. This is kind of going to be the primary items that we're going to work on first. So the air compressor coolant hoses are a priority, and fuel lines. I want to do these two before I get into, we're going to be putting jakes on this bus. It has a 6V92. I want to do these two and then get the engine running again before I put the jakes on. And then we'll take a look for this oil leak while we're in there doing these air compressor hoses. And then this tune-up will also be really a part of the jakes. You got to do a tune-up anyway, so once you take all the stuff apart to do the jakes. He has a cold starting issue, so hopefully I'm hoping the tune-up will take care of that. Tune-up and the fuel lines. I think he's getting air in the fuel. So we'll look at those issues. Could have a battery starting issue. I don't know. We'll see. And then these are kind of alternate items that are on the wish list to get done if we get everything else done on that list. So the block heater, double checking that's working. He's having an issue with fuel sender. The crew's stuck on him, so we're going to try to see what is going on with that. The tachometer, we'll look at that, and his speedometer is another issue. It's not working properly. The speedometer was changed out, so we'll just have to see what we have there. I've got a spot here for if we find something that wasn't on our list, we can write down here, and then I'm going to put this on the dash. So as a reminder, we just need to go through everything before we restart and make sure we have everything put back together and ready to start. So just a good reminder item. So we'll take this and put it on the dashboard of the bus. All right, so here we are inside. We're gonna put this on the dashboard. Just as a reminder, we are gonna go ahead and start this bus up now and run it for a few minutes just to make sure it starts and runs. I'll give you a quick view back in here. So he has purchased, these are all the jake parts, so we have them all in these bins ready to go. So when we get to that project, we'll have that stuff ready for us. So we're draining the Raycor filter through a coffee filter into our fuel can. So you can see all the stuff that we recovered here. And then what I realized, I forgot that you need to plug this line coming in there. It'll continually drain from the tank. So we're going to replace this fuel line. So we're going to plug it off. We've got little plugs here ready to go. So I'm going to plug that, and then we'll finish draining this Raycor so we can replace these fuel lines. All right, so we're removing this fuel line right here. trying to do this filming myself. Not even getting it. There we go. Okay. So we got a little bit of fuel coming out of there. Put a plug in here. Keep that from coming out right now till we get the other end off. So get that up out of the way, and then we can finish draining this brake core. We won't be draining from the tank now. All right, so things escalated pretty quickly here. So to get the fuel line out, it's right back there, and mounted here on those bolts is this whole cruise control module, which we need to do some work on this anyways and replace some O-rings and stuff. So I took it all apart, and so we can get the fuel line out of there. And plus it makes a little more easier access. We're actually going back here to look at the compressor coolant hoses. So we got all the new fuel line in. So the blue fuel line, so we replace that one, and we got this one coming out, going up to the engine, is all new. So right now looks like we have a little bit of a leak. I think it's in this fitting here. It was a little bit messed up and I had a hard time getting it off there, but I think I'm going to replace both of these fittings, cut this off and reflare the copper tube and see if that seals it up. I think that's where it's maybe sucking air now. It keeps every once in a while idling rough. I think it's sucking air right in there. So we'll take that apart and fix it. So, customer complained about an air leak. We're showing my bubbles are going down now, but there's O-rings inside those. That's the module, the air block for the cruise control. So we'll pull that apart and put new O-rings in it, and it'll be fine. It sounded like the air coming from that guy right there, but it's not. I put soapy water all over that, and it's that lower one there. But we'll pull both of those apart and put O-rings in it, and we can show you that. I did that in another video, but we'll show you how it's done again on this one. All right, so we're going to replace the O-rings in this. It's the cruise control unit. So I take off one side at a time. That's the solenoid. I clean this up a little bit with some brake clean. So then it's a flathead screw, and you can remove this guy. And then down inside. All right, so we'll get that guy out of there. We'll match it up. It's not in bad shape. It's a little pliable, but the other side is the one that was leaking real bad. But we do one at a time so we don't cross up the solenoids, or the coils. All right, so I cleaned this all up. I had some. Oh, I'm off camera here. Focus. I cleaned this all up. Put a teeny bit of oil in there, so it got the new O-ring in there. You can see it green. Slide this back in there. Snug it up with a screwdriver. You want to be real gentle on this plastic housing. They're not available. If you crack it, you're going to be in trouble. So, and then the little thing goes back on where the heck is it? this. So this is the exhaust. You want to make sure there's no crud down in here. In fact, let's see, there's a little bit of crud down in there. So we'll spray this out with some brake clean. That's the exhaust. Mud daubers like to build nests in there, so. We clean it out real good. Put that back on. Slide it up. This one you can take off with the whole thingy on there. So there you go, same O-ring. So we'll clean this up a little bit. This one's not bad, it's a little dirty. A little touch of oil on it, very light. New O-ring in there. Stay. Oh, this crap is in the way. Slide that down. And should be all set. All right, so we're pulling these. This is the compressor coolant hoses. This is a 6V92 and a PT40, I believe. 1985. You can hear in the background, it's not somebody peeing, that's the bus peeing. We're draining the coolant down. We're also going to check on the block heater. Alright, so we're getting this back. Can't even see, it's in the shadow back there. Barely got the wrench on it. We'll just get a bite on it. The wrench barely fits in there. Luckily, I think this has been replaced once already. My head's not in the way there. So these are actually not in that bad a shape, but the owner looked up or found that, talked to the previous owner that owned this bus and said these were almost 10 years old, so he decided it's probably best, and I told him because they're over 10 years old, we'll just go ahead and replace them. Alright, so you can see this one compressor coolant line comes right here to the block back there. So you just got to get down there and get disconnected. The other one goes down further. I'll have to go from the bottom side probably and disconnect it. So it connects on the back there. So we got that off. It comes from back there. It's hard to see. It's hard to get light back there. Alright, so I'm going to show you. This is the other. You can see I got the crow's foot, well, sort of on there. It's hard to get the camera right where it'll fit. It's falling off. It's hard to do this end. But you can see the fluid draining down. So where you can see where we're at, we're right here at the back of the engine. I've got a crap load of extensions. It'd be a lot easier if I had just a couple, 2, 3 longer extensions, but it's back in there just above the starter. Get this thing to focus. So you can use these long extensions and a crow's foot to get back there on it. See if I can hold the camera and get that crow's foot on it. There we go. Put on it. Yeah, no, we're behind it. I think I got it loose enough now I can take it off there, but that's how you can get to that guy. I've disconnected all the battery cables because you're right above the starter there. So you've got starter solenoid wires that would be hot if you don't disconnect all the battery power. So make sure your battery charger's off. I just turned off the house, or disconnected the power completely from the bus so the charger's not running. So, and I disconnected all the batteries, disconnected the generator battery, also will back feed through. So got to make sure you disconnect all that, and then you can get to that thing. So now I'm going to reach up in there and hopefully grab that guy. There we go. As you can see, yeah, in there now. Oh, come on, focus. There it is. So we're going to do that, and while we're over here, we're draining the cooling system. We're going to change out this block heater too is over here. So it's on this side. It's hard to see it. There it is, right there. Doesn't want to focus on it. Yeah, that's the wire for the block heater. It's real frayed, so we're going to go ahead and replace that as well. Stay tuned for a continuation of this project, Billy RB.